It was a bitterly cold December evening, and I was just 17 years old. Every year, my mom would go on a short business trip right before Christmas, leaving me home alone for a few days. This year, however, her trip coincided with the start of the school holiday, leaving me entirely alone in the house, especially as a snowstorm raged outside, making it nearly impossible to leave. On the first day, I settled in, making some food and starting a new movie. But the storm kept interrupting. The howling wind and battering snow forced me to pause the movie several times. As the evening wore on, the weather worsened. Around 7 or 8 p.m. I heard footsteps crunching through the snow, slowly approaching my front door. The person coughed a few times as they neared the porch. I waited for a knock or the doorbell but heard nothing. After a few minutes, I cautiously checked through the window. To my surprise, there was no one there, just footprints leading to the door and back again. It was unsettling, but I convinced myself it must have been someone mistaking my house for theirs in the blizzard. Later that night, the power began cutting out intermittently. Around 11 p.m. I heard a loud thud against the side of the house. I grabbed my phone, turned on its flashlight, and investigated. As I neared the back door, I froze. A man was standing outside, staring directly at me through the glass. His face was partially hidden in the dark, but I could see enough to feel a deep sense of unease. "Hey kid, could you open the door? It's freezing out here," he said, trying to push the handle. Alarmed, I backed away. His demeanor changed instantly, and he banged on the door, shouting angrily. I ran to the couch and called 911. Though the storm made it hard for my phone to maintain a signal. Eventually, I managed to get through. By the time the police arrived, the man had disappeared. Weeks later, I had another chilling experience. Driving home from a long trip during another snowstorm, I came across a car stopped in the middle of the road. Its hazard lights flickered, and a man stood beside it, waving for help. Reluctantly, I pulled over. He asked for help pushing his car, and though I was hesitant, I agreed. I put on my gloves and walked to the back of his car. As I waited for him to join me, I noticed him leaning into the front seat, seemingly looking for something. Then, I thought I heard him talking, though it didn't sound like he was talking to himself. Moments later, 3 more men emerged from the car and rushed toward me. Panic set in, and I sprinted back to my car, thankfully still running. I sped off, narrowly avoiding getting stuck in the snow. I reported the incident to the police, but there were no updates. A month later, another incident unfolded at my home. Late at night, I heard loud thuds on my roof. At first, I dismissed it as snow shifting under the weight of the storm. But the sounds continued, moving in a straight line across the ceiling. Concerned, I went outside to check. To my shock, one side of the roof was completely clear of snow, while the other side was still covered. I hurried back inside, only to find wet footprints trailing through the house. My heart sank when I noticed a boot print among the puddles. I ran back outside and called the police. While waiting, I saw a figure in my bedroom window, staring down at me before retreating into the darkness. By the time the officers arrived, the intruder was gone. They deduced someone had climbed onto the roof using nearby trees, entered through an unlocked window, and searched the house. What unnerved me the most was the timing. Had I stayed inside just a little longer, I might have come face to face with whoever it was. Since that winter, life hasn't felt the same. Snowstorms now carry an unsettling weight, and every shadow outside my window feels like a threat.